Factory Historian uses different components to ensure data collection and has a specific architecture to do that. Let's have a look. So the different components. First off, the main components. We have the Historian API, which is the runtime, which is the backbone of the whole setup. This ensures the data is being transferred from the collectors towards the time series database. Next, we have the Historian administration, which is the web page. That is where you can configure your Factory Historian collectors and also measurements and other settings. Furthermore, we have the collectors, which is a component that fetches the data from the production equipment, and it can collect data from different sources and sends it towards the Historian API. You can have different types of collectors, for example, a CSV collector, an OPC-UA collector, or an MQTT collector. Then we have the time series database. We mainly use InfluxDB. This is the place where your sensor data or time series data is being stored. Next to that, we have the dashboarding environment. That is Grafana, an open source web-based application. This can be used to visualize your data that is stored in the Influx database. So no data is being stored in the dashboarding environment, it's only being visualized. Next, we have the architecture of Factory Historian. As you can see here, we have two big blocks. So one block on top is the business network or the IT network, and one block at the bottom is the production network or the OT network. In the OT network, we typically have the SCADA or the PLC systems, and those generate data. Now we want to collect that data using a collector. That collector fetches the data and sends it through the firewall towards the Historian API. Important to note that this is only a outbound connection from collector towards the Historian API. From the Historian API, the data is being stored inside the time series database, which is Influx. Now, once the data is stored in Influx, it can be visualized. So with Grafana, you can make a connection towards the time series database Influx to visualize the data. So it fetches the data from the database and visualize it using a dashboard in Grafana.